Hey guys, it's Coach Brian Nugent, and we are here for another edition of Coffee and Tea with Coach B. We have a special guest today, Tam. He is from Queen's University. He has a 4-year degree in life sciences. He can run like the wind. He is a workaholic. He's been with us for a full year, and I'm about to have some tea, but hold on, Tam. Yours is empty.
Nothing,
What the
not
hell's
today.
going on here, Tam? Tam, why is your tea empty? Can you let us know why your tea is empty?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, it is the holy month of Ramadan. Before I even agreed to do this, I forgot that I couldn't actually have any coffee or tea. So this is just a prop. But yeah, I'm fasting for the month of Ramadan right now. So no fluids in me.
Okay, folks. So right now it's just coffee or tea with Coach B, and Coach B's having some tea, and he's having, this week on 18 degrees, green organic. That's right, green organic. Can you write in the comments below if you know what tea Coach B had last week? That's it.
That's a good one. If I had to choose between coffee or tea, I would choose tea right now.
Yeah, tea right now.
I'm a tea person.
There you go. There you go. Well, Tam, thanks for joining us today. Very excited to have you. I think it's going to be a really good interview. I think you got some good insight. And it's always good for our fellow athletes and other people around the world to learn about other individuals that are involved in the field of health and wellness. All right. But before we get into that, Tam, what was it like? Why don't you tell us what it was like when you were, in your early teens? Who was Tam when he was, 13 years old, we'll say?
Yeah, for sure. Tam was super lazy. I barely did much. I wasn't very sports driven. I wasn't really looking into doing a lot of sports. So growing up, I was kind of like a little bit of a skinny but kind of stocky kind of kid. I knew I always could probably work out. I knew I could probably like find some sports that I could find like love or be into, but it just took a while for me to actually be interested in that kind of stuff. I grew up with like a lot of guys around me who were a lot bigger than me, a lot scarier than I was. So
Okay.
I remember growing up thinking like, dang, like I want to get fit. I want to get bigger. I want to like grow. But I just kept delaying it every single year. Even when I went to university, like I think I went to the gym 5 times over like the course of 4 years, and I paid a gym membership every year. And I just wouldn't be able like to get, off my seat and get there. It was really hard.
Okay. So now you're obviously working out. It's been about a year. Okay. Tell us how it all began and why you started this journey at Pickering Fitness and Wellness Center.
Yeah.
Everybody obviously has a different reason. Everybody has a different story. And, and people are very curious, like the different motivations that people have, right? When they start something, right? Some people it's to lose weight. Some people it's to get stronger. Some people it's to improve their mental health. What was it for you?
Yeah, it was actually kind of a mix of all those kind of things. I came out of university, not in like the best mental state. I was glad that I finished and everything, but I was actually kind of looking to start going to a gym. That was the first thing that I wanted to do when I finished university. And I was debating between Good Life. I was debating between like all sorts of gyms. It's actually kind of funny. I was scrolling through Facebook one day and I saw an ad for Pickering Fitness and Wellness. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, they're looking for like guys, they're looking for people to join. I booked an appointment. I came in and I was like, I got to see who this person is. I was like, I don't know if I trust this guy. Like, what if this guy is like a scammer, a fluke? I come into your office, you have like 50 certificates, you have like everything, like, and we sat down, we had a conversation. You told me about what the kind of the gym was, and you told me how serious it was. I think that was the thing that I liked the most about it. And I like signed up right away. Like, me, I signed up within like 10 minutes of just knowing you. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to put a payment down. I'm ready to like start. That's how serious I was about like getting into the gym and like, getting out there.
Getting out there. Now, Tam, when we were talking earlier, right, you were saying things, and, I find it very interesting because there's a lot of people who are watching this who can relate to this. So here you are. How tall are you, Tam?
About 5'8", 5'9".
5'8". How much do you weigh?
Right now I weigh about 150.
150. Okay, so you're on the slender build, right? But you were telling me that obesity, a lot of people in your family, right, have weight issues. How challenging has that been growing up, seeing people overweight in your family, and then you trying to live a healthy lifestyle? Can you talk a bit about how that plays out in your life, and maybe articulate how to help people to deal with that situation? Because there's a lot of people right now watching who have a lot of obese people in their family. They're trying to live a healthy lifestyle, and there's definitely going to be some conflict from food choices to lifestyle choices of what you have to deal with.
Yeah, no, it has been difficult already. Uh, my grandma, she's like, everyone in my family is actually obese except for me.
Wow.
Or on the heavyweight kind of side.
And so how many key people are in your life, and how many of those key people are overweight?
So in my family, like my immediate family, there's 5 people and 4 of them. So I'm the 5th person, and
Yep.
4 of them are all overweight.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the challenges of that.
So the first big challenge is my grandma. She's overweight and she's very, very ill. She has like early onset Alzheimer's. She can barely walk anymore. You have to kind of like walk with her, or she has to use a wheelchair. And because she's so weak and because she wasn't really active, growing up and that kind of stuff, it's been very hard getting her to the bathroom, getting her like to sit, to eat, and that kind of stuff. So that's taken a toll on her. And then for the rest of my family, it's been hard to even just have like good, healthy food choices. We don't really have much of that. We don't buy that many vegetables in the first place. So
Yeah.
when we go grocery shopping and I'm with them, half the time I'm telling them, nope, we're not getting this. We're not getting this. I'm denying them half the things that they want, the Twinkies and everything that we used to
Oh
love.
God.
Yeah.
That's
And they get mad at me. They're like, it's kind of funny because I'm the youngest person in my family of 5. And now, they're like begging me, hey, Tam, can we please have this? Let me have one treat. And they'll come up to me at the grocery store, and my brother will have like butter tarts. And he's like, just this. And I'm like, okay, if we get this, then you're gonna take this out of the buggy because you know that this is
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
So
I have
you
to
got a
hold,
good little system going on over there.
I have to hold my family accountable because if it's in the buggy and then it gets home, then I'm gonna end up eating it. So it's not even just like I'm looking out. I am looking out for my family, but I'm also looking out for myself. If there's chips there
Oh,
and I'm tired at night and I'm like, even though I worked out in the day and I had a good
yeah,
meal all day, I might be like, oh, I could have a few chips, I could have a few cookies and that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So it's hurting my journey, it's hurting my progress, but I
yeah,
also know that it's even hurting theirs more because they
yeah.
love that kind
So
of stuff.
has there been any benefits? How long have you been having this system going on for? How long have you been doing this
And,
for, this style of grocery shopping?
since I started the gym actually, which is
You
very
started
funny.
the gym. So have you seen any health changes for them based on the food choices that they've had to eat?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, we don't use oil and everything anymore. My mom loves to use oil in just cooking rice, and now we just make steamed rice, no oil in that.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, a lot less oil, and a lot less junk food. Not as much anymore. It's cut
Yeah.
down a
Not as
lot.
junk. Okay.
Mhm.
Got you. So how have you been able to deal with the challenges, Tam, when it comes to, obviously you've been very tempted, but you've been able to resist, we'll call it, or maybe you embrace, I don't know. However you look at it, tell me how you've been able to deal with the challenges of saying no when you are in a household with so many people that have, will say they don't eat the healthiest, right? And the temptation is right there in front of you. What actual measures have you been implementing or thought processes that have helped you? Because it's been a year and that's pretty good.
Yeah. So it's always a step by step, week by week for me. So I
Okay.
remember when for me, I love, for instance, like I love yogurt. And I used to love getting those ones that were filled with like strawberries or bananas and that kind
Oh
of
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, I used to eat the
Yeah.
yolk plate. The yolk
Yeah.
plate.
Yeah. And
I
like,
remember that as a kid. Hey, Tam, this is where you grab your fake prop
oh,
and you
right, right.
drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll fake sip it too. Yeah. So I would start, I get yogurt a lot as a kid. So now what I ended up doing was, after a week of having normal, that kind of yogurt, I would switch to Greek yogurt, and it would still be, vanilla 2% Greek yogurt. But then I'm going to say, okay, I'll do this for a week. When I'm done this, I'm now going to do 0% Greek yogurt. So it's still
Okay.
vanilla. So it's
See.
still, yeah, so it's still how, because I can't go straight from having these, sugary good yogurts that I used to love as a kid
Yeah.
to going straight, no sugar, no fat yogurt.
Yeah.
So I
Got
did
you.
that. Yeah, I did that for a week. And then eventually now I've kind of transitioned to 0% Greek yogurt, like no sugar, just completely like good for you in that kind of sense.
Yeah.
Just so, I wouldn't go like cold turkey. I wouldn't just cut it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's always
Okay.
been step by step.
Yeah. So for you, it's a step-by-step process of how you've been able to transition out. So give me another food group that you know that you were doing really bad with, and then you converted over to being better with. So for example, like I heard something maybe about rice. Like we used to cook rice in a ton of oil, but
Yeah.
now we just have steamed rice. Like give me some other transitions of common foods that you would have eaten where they were really bad. And then you're like, well, I can't go cold turkey because that's not me, but this is how I can, do it just like you did with the yogurt.
Well, it's really hard with my family because they still love those kind of, those kind of junk kind of foods.
For
But
sure, for sure.
um,
But for you though, for you,
yeah, I'm trying to think of some things that I've already done for myself that I would change.
like breads, pastas, rices.
Yeah, I don't eat as much breads or pasta anymore. Usually when I used to have eggs, I used to have, straight, I need to have bread with my eggs or else I wouldn't be even able to eat it. I
Yeah.
still have an occasional like piece of bread now and then just to get some carbs in, but now I can kind of go straight to just having eggs without the bread, or I can
Gotcha.
kind of go straight to just churning things that were once kind of unhealthy into somewhat a little bit more healthy so I can still enjoy them. So maybe instead of like a thick pizza that you'd get like a pizza, I would make myself a thin crust pizza with a ton of veggies on it. Because a lot of people think that, oh, pizza is really bad for you. And it is in a sense, but if you kind of cut down on all the things that are really bad for you
Yeah,
and put some,
cauliflower crust, that
yeah,
changes
you can
things
do, there's so
drastically.
many different ways to do it. You can put,
Yeah.
different options. You can put in a little bit of meat on there to get some protein. Those were the kind of ways that I would change it. Before I used to be so picky, I used to only eat cheese pizza. And now
Yeah.
I'm putting veggies on my pizza. And that in itself is still a step from nothing or from just cheese,
Got you. Got you.
Um,
Okay. So for you, I've noticed, and it's funny, right? Because, some people go cold turkey and then some people need to do the transition. It seems
yeah.
like for you, the transitioning is what works best because then psychologically, emotionally, you're able to handle it better.
Yeah. So that way I can transition to something like cauliflower crust, or I can transition to things that would make it easier for me to be like, okay, I've I've dumbed it down a bit and I can keep doing it. I can still enjoy it, but I got to
Yeah.
get to that point.
Okay. So that's great. No, I really appreciate that. That's really good. So Tam, tell me a bit about like, I mean, obviously when everybody works out, we talked about it a bit earlier, everybody works out for different reasons, right?
Hmm.
What are some of the benefits that you've gained or your motivation of why you still work out? Because, there's a lot of people watching this video right now that, once upon a time worked out all the time and quit. Once upon a time, they're working out right now, but will quit. Everybody's got an excuse. You're right. What motivates you to keep working out so consistently? Because I would say you come to the gym at least 4 days a week, right? If I could think about it off the top of my head, maybe even more. So, what is one your driving forces to keep you going?
Yeah. Well, like I said, my grandma is one of them. Before I came to the gym, I would not even be able to pick up my grandma. Now I can actually like pick her up, get her out of the bed, and walk her to the bathroom, even by myself, not even with my mom sometimes. And that was kind of difficult to do beforehand. So I kind of look at my grandma, and I feel sorry for the state that she's in, but I know that I can control my life, and I know I don't have to end up in that same state. Grandmas, they love throwing a bunch of oil in their food. They love making good food for their grandkids.
Yeah,
And I appreciate everything that my grandma's done for me, but I also realize that like I can't end up like that. And there's a very high possibility that that can happen.
yeah,
Also, diabetes runs in my family. My brother has diabetes. My grandpa and my grandma both had diabetes. So it's very, very common. So I know that I have to be careful. And I know that fitness is something that has to become important to me. And even though it wasn't important to me before, I had to make it important. I had to like wake up and realize that like this is the stuff that I should be caring about because I see my family around me. I see my brother dealing with diabetes. I see my grandma getting weaker and that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
that's
Huh.
kind of how that's what motivates me.
Yeah, interesting. So let me ask you this, and this is just a side question, right? An observation from listening to you talk and communicate, right? Would you say that is that any connection between you and going to Queen's University and studying in life sciences because your family was obese, because everyone's dealing with weight issues, because diabetes runs high? Was that any motivation for you to go off to university and study life sciences, which is usually, for a lot of people, not all, but a segue into becoming a doctor?
Yeah, that was definitely a part of it. I was really interested in nutrition. I was definitely interested in health, And then things that we learned, I would take physiology courses, I would take anatomy courses where you learn about the body, you learn how it worked, you learn what would cause cardiac arrest, you learn what would cause a heart attack and that kind of stuff. So when you learn about that kind of stuff, it's very, very hard for you to just, ignore it, because when you study it, you have to actually care about it. You want to do good in school, but then you think to yourself, you're like, dang, like, I know the truth. I know what's real. I know what could hurt people. I know, what could harm people. So when you learn about that kind of stuff, that kind of motivates you to kind of think more about your health. And I would say that was definitely a reason I kind of wanted to go into Queens. I wanted to kind of go into that field because I kind of cared about that kind of stuff. But it wasn't until I actually got there that I started realizing, like, dang, like I gotta take what I'm studying and put it to better use. And that's kind of what motivated me to get to the gym.
Yeah. Nice. Very good. Very good. Okay. So growing up, I mean, you seem like a motivated guy, right? Is there anybody now that motivates you, or, people that you look up to, or something that's a motivating factor to keep you going?
Yeah, I would even say, like, outside of my family, the people at the gym, the people at Pickering Fitness and Wellness, like, I see so many people who are older than me. A lot of them have kids, and they're coming in like 4, 5, 6 times a week, and
Yeah.
I see how they are, and I'm like impressed. I'm like, I want to be like these people. I want to, grow older. And I don't want to let go of the fact, like, I want to, some of them bring their kids to the gym, which is really great. They don't let that stop them. They don't let the fact that, they have work. Some of them come during their lunch break. They don't let any of that kind of stuff stop them. So I would say that the people I work out with, they're my huge motivators, and they motivate me to do better. We go in there and it's a very positive environment. At first, when I started, I was a little scared because I was like, I don't know who I'm working out with. But you're working out with like all sorts of people. You're working out with people who are huge, in terms of like they gain a lot of muscle mass, and then people who aren't, and you're learning different things from each and every single person. So it's really great.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good. So if you had to design your own workout, what would that look like, Tam?
Oh my God, definitely tons of running. I've
What's that?
missed running, tons of running.
Yeah.
Like track, like running around the gym. Yeah. We used to do that a lot back when the gym was open, and I missed that a lot because I did a lot of track back when I was in high school, and I loved running. It was one of my biggest passions of
Yeah,
mine.
you won the
And
500-meter race, right?
yeah, I won it. It's kind of funny. The reason why I won that 500-meter
We
kind
might
of
have to
race.
race. You and I have to go showdown. I have
Yeah,
a
you might
race this
still beat
season.
me, but I might have a chance. The funny thing is they did like 100-meter, 200-meter, like 300-meter race. So I didn't compete in any of those. I was like, let me just rest, because all these dudes, they're gonna compete in every single one. I'm gonna rest, wait till the 500-meter one. And then when I ran that one, all the guys were like way behind me because they were tired from running the first three. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the way that I won it. I was just like, it was kind of me being lazy and being like, nah, I'm not going to do all these races. I'm just going to wait. Let me wait it out. And I ended up winning the biggest race, the longest one. I was pretty proud about that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So let me ask you a question. That's a good story. What's a quote? Is there any type of quote that do you listen to certain things in your iPod? Do you follow quotes, or is there anybody you're following right now that keeps you motivated, or you listen to? Walk me through a typical day of like Tam when it comes to like getting his mind right. Is it natural for you to have your mind right, as in, okay, I'm motivated, there's my grandmother, I got to take care of her, go, or do you have systems in place that keep you in check that you might not even realize it naturally, because some people just do it naturally? Or do you have systems in place no different than, you make sure that when you and your food and you're getting off certain foods, okay, you do it slow and steady. All right, this week, I have sugary yogurt, then I'm going to go from half sugar to like no sugar to Greek yogurt. Is that the same thing with your mind, or do you just get up and go and you just make it happen?
No, I definitely would say that I take my inspiration from a lot of that kind of stuff. I watch a few documentaries to kind of get myself educated. I'll read up on things myself. If I'm curious, I'll go straight to Google, and I'll like find the answer myself. I won't wait around and find out if something is good for me or if it's bad for me. A quote that I kind of resonate with is actually from this film that you recommended to me, Game Changers, which is a really good film on Netflix. It's about a lot of athletes who've kind of gone vegan,
Mm-hmm.
and they've switched to plant-based protein and that kind of stuff, because you assume that, these big guys, they've lived their life off of meat, but people don't
Yeah.
understand that you don't need that to get bigger. And one of the quotes in there was, the quest for truth is only useful if you're prepared to take action on what you find. So,
Oh,
and I think, I don't know who said that. I think it may have been Bruce
that was
Lee.
good. That's very good. And a lot of
Yeah.
people get the truth, but they don't want to take the
Mhm.
action.
Yeah. So if you're going to find out the truth, or you're going to find out something that you're eating is bad for you, if you're going to find out something is harming you, and you went out of your way to find out that was the truth, but you did nothing about it, then what was the point of going, looking for the truth? So in my kind of sense, I found out things that I was eating was horrible for me. And I was saying to myself, like, I found out this is the truth. So now I need to change. Now I got to take action, because if I don't, then everything, everything that I Google was pointless. Everything that I did at the gym was pointless. So that's a quote that definitely resonates with me. Kind of
Resonated with you. So let me ask you a question, Tam. Why do you think that is, where there are people who would go out to seek the truth, who go out and pretend they want the truth, and then when they get the truth, you can't handle the truth. This reminds me of a movie like A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise. You can't handle the truth. Why do you think when they get the truth, they still do nothing after? Why do you think that is?
Because to some people, I think the truth sounds good, and saying it out loud, it sounds good. And it sounds good when other people around you hear it. You want to look like a good influence. You want to be that person that, judges people when they eat bad, but when you go home, you're like stuffing chips down your face. And people are so obsessed with the idea of, looking better or looking good in front of people, and sounding better, that they realize that they're just eating their words. What they're saying is pointless if they're not actually taking action on it themselves. So it's always great to give advice to people. I try to give as much advice to my family on what to eat and how to stay active, or,
Yeah.
I'll tell my mom, hey, go on a walk today. It's going to help you, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you never want to put people down. You never want to be like, well, you shouldn't be eating that, or that kind of stuff. You want to encourage people. And I just think a lot of people sometimes can be a little bit hypocritical. So
Yeah.
you got to just make sure that what you're saying is the truth, and what you're saying, you're also responding to it, and you're acting on it, outside of just the conversations that you're having.
Yeah. So Tam, what would your top three, if you had to give advice to the world, right, or to your fellow Titan athletes? And I mean, you know what I always say, all advice is good advice for the most part, especially if it's like meant well and it's going to help that person to improve their life,
Mm-hmm.
right? What were your top three rules or advice would you give to people when it comes to like health and wellness?
The first thing I would do is always try to find a credible source. Always make sure, because everyone puts a lot of things on the internet, and a lot of people read something, and the first thing they think is, this is true. Like, it's on the internet. It's got to be true. Like, no one would lie to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
make sure that you're looking at your sources. You're looking at, like, even from a science perspective, I remember when I
So
would.
wait, are you saying the news is not good enough? Like, doesn't everything the news say it's true?
Yeah.
Every
Sometimes
time a
people lie to
doctor's
you.
on there, it's telling me the truth. CNN, CP20.
Always true. They've never lied. Fox News, I don't think they've actually ever lied once in their lives.
Okay,
Um,
so always go to a credible source is number one. That's very good, because that will let people, hopefully they're getting good information. What was your next one?
My next one would kind of be to, like, what's best for your body. So listen to yourself. Don't try to let, negative people try to come in and cloud your judgment and tell you, what's good for you and what's bad for you all the time, if it's not really the case. A lot of people listen to, the hurtful things that people say, and instead, it really bums them down. It really brings them down. But try not to let that negative energy go into your head. And always realize that when you're going to the gym, or whenever you're doing something, you're not doing it because you hate your body. You're doing it because you love your body. You don't go to the gym because you hate it. And a lot of people think that, but you should have the mindset that you're going in because you love it. You want to improve it. You want to grow and that kind of stuff. And that's the mindset that I have when I go into the gym. I'm like, I'm not going in there to like hate on myself. I'm going in there because I love myself and I want to take better care of myself.
Very deep, very deep. Good stuff. Very good. So Tam, this has been really good interview. Question. So you're obviously in Ramadan right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're working out, folks. He's working out 4 or 5 times a week with no food, no water. He's coming to classes. He works out in the evening time, just so we could put things in perspective. Okay, Tam would be working out at around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So his last meal, when would your last meal would have been, Tam?
It would have been a little like 4:30 a.m., 4 a.m. Yeah.
Okay. So 4:30 a.m. So from 4:30 all the way through, talking like at least 12 hours.
More than that, I think. I think like
More
14.
than that, yeah. So
Yeah.
13 and a half. How you been able to manage working out with no food, no water, especially in our workouts that can be very intense, high cardio, respiratory endurance demanding? How you been able to push through when most people would have not even come to a workout? They would have quit. They would have used an excuse. Now, keep in mind, we have a lot of Muslim athletes that are working out, but for those that would be like, oh, there's no way I could do this, it's impossible. Connect the dots for us of how you're able to do it, where you've taken, it's not the impossible, but made it possible. It's not really impossible, folks. I don't want to make, but it's still very challenging.
I think for me, it's more of a fear of being weak. I don't want to like lose what I've done for like 11 months now and the strength that I've built during that time. I know if I went a month away from doing all that kind of stuff, I know I'd be back to where I would like a little bit back to where I started. So I've always been like, okay, if I can do it at 6 p.m., I can get that hour workout in, and then I'm eating at around 8:30, 8:15ish. So I just have to wait, like workout ends at 7. I have to wait a whole hour before I can eat. And it's tough. It's very, very tough to go in there without any food in your stomach, without any water. It's not like, not many doctors would recommend you going into the gym with that kind of,
Yeah.
But I got to keep pushing through. The whole purpose of Ramadan is physical healing and spiritual healing and that kind of stuff. And you're supposed to clear toxins out of your body. So I know that it's good for me. I got to do what I can. I try to push myself as much as I can. If I know that it's a little bit too tough for me, I'll try to step back, but you got to keep the flow going. You can't let things stop you. You got to keep going.
There you go. There you go. Well, Tam, that's all really good advice. I want to thank you so much. We're going to do a little rapid fire. Okay. I'll say a word.
Okay.
You tell me what it means.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
All right.
Twinkie.
Twinkie?
Yeah, Twinkies.
Oh, Twinkies. Really bad for you. People should look at what's in them. I've looked at what's in them, and it's gross. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You have a degree in life sciences. Life sciences.
Tons of information. Learned a lot. Very broad, general sciences, not just bio, not chem. A really great major. Really proud of it.
Pickering Fitness and Wellness Centre.
The only way that I was able to actually go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, I'm not very self-motivated, so I would have not been able to go to Good Life or anything kind of like that.
Okay.
Not at all.
Your grandmother.
My heart, everything that matters to me in the world, and just, all love for her.
Burpees.
The worst. I hate them. They're actually my least favorite move at the gym. If you say push-up burpees, that is way better for me. That's like, I hate it a lot, like half the amount. But no, burpees are the worst. I hate them.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Tam, I want to thank you. Let's get your prop. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Toast. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Tam for being here. Coffee and tea with Coach B. Hopefully you got some really good information that you can apply to your life and that it can change your life. We hope to see you next week. Thanks for coming. See you later. Thanks, Tam.
No problem. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thanks, bud. All right, take care.
See ya.